Hey, what's up everyone? This is SnackBox. Hope you all have a great start to the week. Guys, the Dragon Tournament with EPICS only is live and the rewards look actually pretty solid. I'm gonna show you how to farm stage 10 on the hard mode, so let's get to it. So on top of the Dragon Tournament with EPICS only, we also have a drop boost for speed artifacts. A free X on speed artifacts is always a nice time to farm Dragon. Now I know you can farm stage 20 with food, you can also farm some of the hard stages with food, but I prefer to run stage 10, and I haven't found a way to farm stage 10 with an epic yet, but I think it's possible, and I'm gonna show you why I think it's possible. But let's run this team first. So as you can see, we have Geomancer in the lead position with the HP aura, just to bring a little bit more survivability. If you need more resistance for Kael, for example, because he's gonna be, the last man standing at the dragon boss to kill him, to finish him off. And Seer is basically here to just clear the waves. Same as Stag Knight, just here for the debuffs for the waves. Doesn't really matter if he places the debuffs on the dragon at the end, but sometimes he does. And Archmage is there for the buffs, so Seer can nuke the waves. So let's actually run it one time so you can see it. Geomancer is the fastest because he's in a speed tune for my Sand Devil and other stuff. So yeah, he just has the highest speed. But it's basically like a common strategy with like debuffing and then the nuke of Seer. Archmage also stuns the second wave. Because we don't have a reset champion, we kind of have to control this wave a little bit until Seer has the A3 back. And yeah, it's gonna come back in a second. So here we go, the second stun, and there we go. 36 seconds until we get to the dragon. Geomancer opens up with the HP burn, which will add some damage, but not only that, he will also steal the attack up buff from the dragon, which also helps to survive. And now it's basically just, waiting till everybody dies off, and Dark Kael finishes off the boss. Now, ideally, you could probably build him with crit rate. I don't have him built with crit rate. The problem is just that I don't have good crit rate gauntlets, but I could probably do it because he gets a lot of damage reduction from a gemstone, and I'm going to show you which gemstone exactly. So 1 minute 25, this is a 100% chance, 100% win rate. There's absolutely no way that this can fail. It doesn't matter if something gets resisted or not, and I'm gonna show you why. So the most important thing about the build from Dark Kael, now of course I got him in, a Defiance set and a Regeneration set, and all these other sets like 1 piece of Feral for extra accuracy and 1 piece of Pinpoint for extra accuracy. I'm very aware that not everybody can do this, but I think some people can, and a lot more people will be able to do this in the future. And the secret weapon here basically is this gemstone. The Vera reduces incoming damage by 10% for each dead ally. So we get up to 40% damage reduction from the dragon. Because everybody will die off at some point, I have Dark Kael in a regen set. On top of that, he has a 2-piece Defiance set with a minus 15% damage taken from AoE attacks. And if you want to go even further, you could technically go with Blast Proof, which will decrease the damage from AoE attacks by another 5%. So there's a lot of damage reduction going on. And because I have that damage reduction, I could technically give him crit rate on his gauntlets instead of HP percentage, and he would probably still survive. I just don't have nice regeneration gauntlets or a Defiant piece for the gauntlets with crit rate. If I had, I would probably switch it and try it out, and I'm pretty sure that he still would survive. The crazy thing about this gemstone is that most likely it's even stacking. So if you have 2 of those, and there are actually like 2 or 3 relics where you can fit 2 of those in. So one of them is of course a mythical here, hallowed hilt. If you have this relic, you can see you can fit 2 of those gemstones. Now I know there's like a small percentage that does have this relic, and also you need 2 of those gemstones, so it's very unlikely that a lot of people can do this. But at some point, you know, people will start pulling mythical relics and also have more of these mythical gemstones. And I just want to point out what's possible. So if you have this relic and 2 of those gemstones, you can get up to 80% damage reduction. Now, I don't know how it works, if it stacks or if it's like gonna get reduced step by step. 40% damage reduction for the, you know, incoming damage, and then another 40% damage reduction for the rest of it. I'm not sure, but I think it's pretty insane. But there's also a legendary relic where you can use 2 of those gemstones, and this is the temporal stagnator from the clan group. So actually not that bad. It's not that hard to get. At some point, you know, a lot of people will have this. And yeah, so you can actually use this temporal stagnator with 2 of those gemstones, if you have 2 of those gemstones, and build an absolute tank for even, you know, soloing dungeons, right? 80% damage reduction. Why not? On the live arena group, there's also one legendary relic where you can fit in 2 of those gemstones, and this is the Harp of Casbio. On top of that, the effect of this relic is also not that bad. Let me move myself out of the way real quick. For example, if you have somebody like a Eurogrim or a Ornn or a Dark Kael that doesn't hit when he places poisons, you also get a turn meter boost on top of that. And you get HP, which is nice, resistance and speed if it's rank 6, right? Also, you get additional turn meter increases the higher you level it. And you can fit 2 of those gemstones in here, plus another one. So absolutely amazing, actually. At first, I was thinking this relic is not even that good, but sometimes the socket forms, they actually make it up, right? So in this case, for like soloing dungeons, this relic might be really solid. But if you just have 1 of those gemstones, you can fit it in a lot of relics. You can see it right here. You have one epic relic here, another one here where you can fit it in. So there's a couple of epics here, Valkanon's Grasp as well. You can even fit it in Tempus Sanguinis, which is a rare relic, also pretty nice. So there are a lot of options where you can put in this gemstone. And just to show it one more time, Necro Defense is the one that I'm talking about. So the Vera reduces incoming damage by 10% for each dead ally. Amazing. Now the question is just if it adds up. If you have 2 of those, do you get 80% damage reduction, or do you get 40% damage reduction and then another 40% damage reduction? So that is the big question. But I think it needs to be tested, and maybe somehow you can reach even 100% damage reduction. I'm not sure, but it would be insane. Hey there, do you want to save money? I got you. If you run Raid Shadow Legends on Aptoide, you will get up to 20% cash back on every purchase. On top of that, you can use my personal promo code SNACK5 to get an additional 5% bonus. Spend smarter, not harder. Also, if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, and while you're at it, also leave a thumbs up. And now let's get back to the video. Back to the champion builds. So I'm going to show you the stats of my Dark Kael. He is at 251 speed. As you can see, I have like small amounts of area bonuses here. So 251 speed, 56k HP, 3.8k defense. I would love to get him to 100% crit rate, so he would increase the duration of debuffs with his A2. But unfortunately, I don't have crit rate gauntlets with the right set. Then he's at 460 resistance, which is totally fine. That's where you want to be at. That's like the minimum. and then 343 accuracy. In a, you know, ideal scenario, you would want like 345, but 2 accuracy more or less is not crucial. Then, as I said, I have this demonic effigy relic on him, which just gives him 10% more turn meter whenever an ally dies. You don't really need this relic, it just helps a little bit to make him take a turn, right, when the allies die. And on top of that, this gemstone here is carrying. I think I can reduce his defense and HP by a lot because of this, reduced incoming damage. Pretty interesting, to be honest. I have him with the emergency heal blessing, just to give him a little bit more survivability, and he has a blood shield ring, so he always has that shield, unless he uses the A3, right? And then he has War Master and Master Hexer, Spirit Haste, to get his speed up as soon as the allies die. Then for Seer, I haven't even touched Seer. This is the build that I had for the event dungeon stage 30. So she's at 257 speed. She has the Cat's Gaze, 106% crit rate, 369% crit damage, 412 accuracy, a little bit of an overkill if you ask me. You can definitely go down with the accuracy and with the crit damage, I'm pretty sure. You definitely want to build her with a Savage or a Lethal set or a Merciless set, so she gets the defense ignore going. I also have this insane gemstone on her, where she deals 10% more damage in dungeon battles, and because she deals a huge amount of damage, those 10% are actually adding a lot. Then she has a 6-star blessing, which is Crushing Rend, and that means I'm getting a lot of defense ignore going here with the Savage set, Crushing Rend, and the Cat's Gaze, so the damage is really a huge overkill. For the masteries, I went with War Master. I could go Helm Smasher or something, but I just want her to deal some extra damage with the A1s on the dragon. Then I have Archmage in a shield set just to bring a little bit more survivability. He's at 277 speed, so he needs to be faster than Seer, so he can buff, and Seer can strip those buffs and use it to push the damage. And then he needs 100% crit rate and 330 accuracy. Actually, with the area bonuses, it's a little bit higher. So 340 accuracy, just enough to place debuffs, and 283 speed actually with the area bonus. Yeah, so it's important to build him with crit rate because if he crits, he will attack all other enemies too and then stun them. So that way he can control the waves until Seer gets the nuke back, and he has also Spirit Haste. I don't know why. I haven't touched the masteries in a long time, but he has War Master, and he's just there to stun the waves and keep the buffs up so Seer can nuke. Then I had my Geomancer here in a pretty weird build, to be honest. Usually I have him in a reflex set, but I don't want him to reduce the cooldown on his HP burn for the Sand Devil, for example. So I swap one piece out and in, but basically all he needs to do is place the HP burn on the dragon, and as soon as we get there, so we get some reflect damage going on and the dragon dies faster. So he's at 67k HP, 2.5k defense, 289 speed, so he's the fastest, and then 546 accuracy. That's a complete overkill and basically built for different areas, so 350 accuracy is totally fine. I have no relic on this guy, completely booked like all the other champions too. He has cruelty, and for masteries he has Eagle Eye because, as I said, I need the accuracy in different areas. In here, you could probably go with War Master if you can reach those 350 accuracy. Also, Master Hexer is pretty nice to increase the duration of the HP burn sometimes. And then we have Stag Knight, which is a OG in the game, 269 speed, 390 accuracy, also a little bit of an overkill, but it's fine. 76k HP, 3.3k defense. No relic, he's completely booked, and he's just there to place those decreased attacks and decreased defenses. And he has War Master as well as Master Hexer, and just overall a very solid champion. The main reason why I use him is because of the decreased defense, of course, and he has it on a 3-turn cooldown, so he will cycle it back pretty fast. So yeah, there we go. Let's run it one more time. So we're gonna open up with Geomancer. He's the fastest. Buff up, debuff the decreased defense, and Seer comes in with the nuke. And now we need to stun everybody and wait till Seer gets the nuke back. Sometimes Seer also gets an extra turn from the A1, and then we get past wave 2 faster, right? That's also something that can happen, but in the in a normal run without extra turns, it takes like 36 seconds to get to the Dragon Boss. Let everybody do the thing. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is that Geomancer places the HP burn, and then everybody can die off, and Dark Kael will solo the dragon easily. And if you pay attention to Dark Kael, how much damage he actually gets as soon as everybody dies off, it's actually insane. The damage reduction is pretty interesting. So here you can see he barely gets any damage anymore. He has the decrease attack going, and even with increased attack, the dragon doesn't hit Dark Kael that hard, which is pretty interesting, to be honest. He just can't kill him. It doesn't matter. And there we go. 1 minute 34, 69 turns. I mean, not bad. I know that people will most likely use champions that can solo stage 20 or lower stages of the hard mode. And there are some champions that are pretty good at it. And the most common ones that I used is, for example, Eurogrim, right? He can solo stage 20 for sure, maybe even some lower hard stages. I'm not sure about that one, but he's basically like a baby Bad El Khazar. He has a solid speed aura, poisons, continuous heals that he buffs on him. Also, he removes debuffs. And I think with this 40% damage reduction Gemstone, you don't even need crazy stats to solo the dragon. And then for the Lizard Man, we have Venom Mage, also pretty similar with poisons, heal reduction. And another thing he has going on is the damage reduction from his passive. Whenever he places heal reduction on the enemies, he gets 15% less damage. That is pretty cool. He places the heal reduction and poisons at the same time on all enemies. And then he has a single target decreased defense and decreased attack, which is pretty cool for the dragon. So he deals less damage anyway with the decreased attack. And, you have the damage reduction going on from his heal reduction. And then if you add the Gemstone, that is actually pretty amazing. Then another one is Ornn from the Sylvan Watchers. He's a Spirit Affinity champion. He basically does the same thing with poison sensitivity and poisons. He instantly activates them. And on his passive, he's actually stacking up HP and defense every time poisons are activated, but this resets each round. So yeah, those three are probably the most popular ones for soloing the dragon. In terms of epics, there are definitely a lot more champions that can do it with the right gear. Some are slower, but those three are the fastest. Now, if you're gonna farm Dragon 20, it's gonna cost you like 2.7, 2.8k energy. And the reward is actually not that bad, right? An Immortal Soulstone, you get 30 Primal Quartz, which is, not that great, but still, it's a piece of a Primal Shard. So at least something. But in my opinion, they could have at least put like 50 Primal Quartz in here. So you get half a Primal Shard, but it is what it is. The rewards from the placements are nothing to talk about, like just an Ancient Shard and like epic Relentless gear at best. So pretty mediocre, but the Immortal Stone is worth it for me. But yeah, before you dump all your energy into the Dragon Tournament, you should wait until tomorrow, because we have this Dungeon Divers event starting in like 20 hours. So you can double dip points for the Dungeon Divers event and the Dragon Tournament if you are going for it. So that would be my advice for you. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.